bench one day, picked up a phone message from a fellow from the ABA asking if I would go to Iraq. I had gotten off the bench. I was doing what I consider the most boring case in the history of Anglo-American jurisprudence. So I picked up the phone and says, "What do you have in mind?" I called him back and returned his call. And he said that the ABA was part of a coalition of bar associations around the world that offered assistance to war-torn and distressed legal systems. And they were sending a delegation into Iraq. They wanted an ABA person on the delegation, and they wanted a female. So I said, "You've got to be kidding, but tell me more." He told me more, and I said, "Well, okay, I'll do it." One of the judges in the first class that we taught there was the judge who eventually became the first judge in the Saddam Hussein trial. The point of the whole course was the independence of the judiciary, which is a fundamental concept in the rule of law. You have to have judges who are free from political and personal stress and just free to make their decisions based on the law and the facts and not on any personal or political considerations. Skip to about 3 years later, and Saddam Hussein was captured. They had the court system set up to try him, and the first judge in his trial was one of the judges who had been in our class. A wonderful, wonderful man. So we were chit-chatting, and I said, "Judge Riesgar, I read everything I could about your involvement in the trial, but I'd really like to talk to you about it." So he said, "Yes, but for that I'd like the interpreter." So at the end of one of the days of this conference, we sat in the lobby of the hotel with the interpreter. And, I asked him some questions. What was it like for your children to see you on TV every night? And what was it like when you first, confronted Saddam Hussein? Get to the end of the conversation, and I said, there's one more question I want to ask you. As I said, I read everything I could about it, but I'd like to know why it was that you resigned from the trial. And he said, "Because I took your class." And I said, "What?" "What do you mean?" And he said, "It was because I learned from you and Judge Bob Utter from Washington State, what it really means to be an independent judge. And I was profoundly disappointed when I got to Baghdad and started the trial, and the pressures that were being brought by the Iraqi government and by the military meant I couldn't try that case like I knew a good independent judge would." It's really encouraging to see the kind of progress. During my almost 25 years on the state bench, I probably used up maybe 3/4 of my vacation time doing ROLI work.